So you've probably come across the Pali word Paññā, right? And the usual translation you see is wisdom. But what if that's not the whole story? Not even close. What if Paññā isn't some passive thing you just have, but an active thing you do?
I mean, is it just, the wisdom you'd find in a dusty old book? That kind of thing? Just a bunch of nice-sounding quotes that are great on paper, but let's be honest, don't really help when things get real.
Or is it something else entirely? Something way more active, way more powerful? Think of it like a cognitive X-ray, a kind of superpower that lets you see straight through the surface of things, right down to the hidden machinery that makes them tick.
Okay, so to really get this, we've got to break the word itself down. We're going to look at the energy packed into the original Pali sounds and see what it's actually telling us.
All right, first up, pa. Now this isn't just a syllable, it's a prefix, and it's all about forward momentum. Think of it as an amplifier. It means to do something powerfully, to push an action outward with real force.
And then you've got ñā. This is the root for to know. Simple as that. It's about identifying something, that raw act of cognition. You know that aha moment when the light bulb clicks on?
So here's the magic. When you put them together, pa and ñā, you don't just get knowing. You get a powerful, forward-moving, penetrating kind of knowledge. This is knowing with some serious muscle behind it.
And this brings us to a whole new way of looking at it. Paññā isn't about cramming more information into your head. Nope. It's the skill of filtering out all the noise, all the static in what you're already seeing, so you can finally see the underlying operational algorithm, the source code, if you will, of reality in real time.
Now, I know source code of reality sounds a little out there, so let's bring this down to earth with a few modern analogies. I promise these will make this whole thing click. Okay, first up, the Matrix. You know that incredible moment when Neo stops seeing the spoon, the buildings, the agents, and he just sees the green code pouring down? That's a perfect picture of what Paññā feels like. Yeah, check this out. It's the difference between being trapped in the illusion, just reacting to everything, the people, the drama, versus actually being able to read the code that's generating the illusion. Once you understand the program, it doesn't have the same power over you. You can't be fooled anymore.
Or how about this one? This time, let's turn that vision inward. When you and I look at a big, beautiful building, we see the walls, the windows, the paint. But an architect, they see the blueprint behind the walls. They see the steel skeleton, the wiring, the plumbing.
And that is exactly how Paññā works when you look at yourself. Instead of just seeing this solid, single thing called me, you start to see the blueprint. You see the assembly of parts, the tangle of wires that are your attachments and habits. And the cool thing is, once you can see that structure, you can diagnose a problem instantly. You can see exactly where the short circuit is.
Here's a good one. Paññā is like a decryption key, right? Life is constantly throwing all this messy, chaotic, encrypted data at us. It's just confusing noise. But Paññā is the key. You apply these specific filters, like impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, not self, and boom, all that chaos gets decrypted into simple, clear truth. The complex suddenly becomes incredibly simple.
And for our last one, imagine this. You're at a magic show. The magician is on stage doing all these amazing illusions and the whole audience is gasping, but not you. Why? Because you know exactly how every single trick is done. He can try to distract and dazzle you, but all you see is the mechanism. The illusion has no power, and you're just completely unfazed.
So, okay, we've got these really cool analogies, right? A cognitive X-ray, a decryption key, but what's the point? What's the ultimate purpose of all this? Why would we even want to see the source code of our own minds?
Well, in the old texts, they often called Paññā a sword. And there's a really good reason for that. But it's not a sword for attacking anyone else. It's a sword for cutting away the very roots of our own problems, our attachments, our mental baggage.
Here's how it actually works. Think of Paññā as the ultimate debugging tool for your mind. It runs a diagnostic on your whole mental operating system, and it finds the one fundamental glitch, the core system bug. And what is that bug? It's our habit of trying to cling to data, things, feelings, ideas, that is, by its very nature, always changing. Now get this, because this is the most amazing part. Once Paññā shows you just how absurd that operation is, it's like trying to grab a fistful of water. You don't have to force yourself to let go. You don't need to grit your teeth and use willpower. The insight itself does all the heavy lifting. The clinging just stops.
The grip loosens all on its own, because your system finally sees on a deep level that what it was doing was just completely illogical. So I'll leave you with this to think about. If you had this tool, this cognitive X-ray, this ultimate debugger, right now, in this moment, what part of your reality, what piece of your own mental source code would be the very first place you'd point it?